We made it. Week 21, final week of the regular season set to go in the Canadian Football League, and your Winnipeg Blue Bombers have captured the West Division. They will have a real luxury to go into Calgary on Friday night and be able to rest some guys, try some new guys at some different spots, really get everybody primed and ready to go in their final game before the West Final on November 11th. Breaking news that happened today on Thursday. That is, the National Hockey League has moved the Winnipeg Jets game time on November 11th from 3 p.m. Central to 2 p.m., which means Jets drop the puck at 2, Bombers kick off at 5:30, allowing both television viewers and, I imagine, the handful of in-person viewers chance to watch the Jets get from Canada Life Centre to South Winnipeg and IG Field, the madhouse for the West Final. So a 3.5 hour gap between those two games. Of course, both games will be available on TSN. Let's bring in the man you all came to see as we tee up this big game for the Blue Bombers. It's big really only for one reason, Chris, and that is the luxury that it is. An opportunity to rest some guys, and Drew Brown will get the start at quarterback.
Yeah, Drew Brown is really making his mark. I mean, obviously, the time he's played limited. This is his 8th game. I believe it's his first start, though.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong on that one, but I know this.
7 second start this year.
Passes. Second start?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. See, now you're on the ball, buddy. I'm just checking you out. But I'll say this. Hey, 7 touch. He's really taking care of the ball. This is a guy, and I don't want to get ahead of myself here but he's playing for next year. And I don't mean here. He's going. He's gone. There's going to be a number of people. I don't know if he's got a free after this year, if he's got another contract year in him, but I think Drew Brown.
A free agent. Drew Brown is a free agent. Listen,
this is his. He couldn't ask for a better display, a better, just a platform to go out there and put, some points on the board, throw the football. So as they say, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think he's really playing like a veteran. And I guarantee you this there, DB, there's going to be a lot of teams chomping at the bit to try and wonder if they can pull Drew Brown over to their roster, because he wants to be paid like a starter too. And that's what it's all about.
There's a couple big free agents the Blue Bombers will either have to work to re-sign this offseason or work to replace or find new bodies to step in for. You mentioned Drew Brown, of course, at quarterback. I imagine there'll be a couple teams looking to upgrade there or move on from a more veteran player or, somewhere in the middle. It's also general manager Kyle Walters, who still is not under contract for 2024. What's your take on this, Chris? It's got a lot of fans wondering what's going on, what the contingency plan is, or, really why Winnipeg doesn't have their general manager of 10 plus years under contract with the amazing work that Kyle Walters has done here in Winnipeg.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is really one of those head scratchers. I look at it and I go, I know a lot of the guys sometimes say, let the end of the year take care of everything, but look what he's done. Look at, his resume of what he's done here and the people he's brought in here and the people he's kept here, the veterans who want to play here, they want to stay here. Now, I know that you brought this up, DB, last podcast, that you think there's a little bit of a, somebody out in that air is talking about maybe Danny McManus being groomed to take over. But I still say this, why bring in someone when someone is so successful already? It doesn't make sense to me. Unless he's telling you to back up the Brinks truck, which I'm sure he's not. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense. To me, that's one of the first things you want to sign is a guy like that who's basically built this team. I mean, yeah, Wade Miller gave him the keys, but he drove that truck out here and brought all the players here. And Coach O'Shea, with his coaching style, has kept those players here. So to me, to break up that, what do they call them, the Three Amigos?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're,
the Canadian Mafia.
The Canadian Mafia. Yeah, exactly. I like the Amigos better, but anyway, that's another. But having said that, I don't get it, DB. I don't understand why they would do that to me. Unless he wants to leave. Now, we never took a look at that. Does he want to get out of here? Does he want to go back to Ontario? Does he want to go back maybe and work with, in Hamilton or something? You know what I mean? I don't know. These are questions that remain unanswered, but cause me a lot of concern because He is such an integral part of what the Bombers have done. One of the key parts. Players are players, but you need somebody to bring them in here and play them. And you got to work the numbers. You got to do this. And listen, you know it as well as I do, GB. When you're a GM, there is no time off. As soon as the season's over, you're already trying to recruit. You're trying to see who's back on the thing. Who are we going to bring in? Who are we going to sign? How big on a practice roster? Are we going to lose those guys? So, yeah, to answer your question, I'm baffled. And I, for one, I'm saying sign them. Bring them back. Don't be an idiot. If the club doesn't bring him back, and unless it's his decision to leave, it's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah. You mentioned Danny McManus. I personally believe if one of those assistant general managers between Danny McManus and Ted Gavaya, if they do want one of those two individuals to step into the GM role, I think it's Ted Gavaya. I don't think it would be Danny McManus. That's just my read on it.
Okay.
Also, the reality, a lot of people wonder, why not Mike O'Shea? Shouldn't Mike O'Shea be the general manager? I'm pretty sure in saying this, I know you'll agree with me, Chris. Mike O'Shea doesn't want to be the general manager. He wants to be the head coach.
Too much on his plate. And it's funny you say that too. The other thing that just kind of popped in my head, a lot of things pop in my head. That's what happens when you get old. But having said that, you almost brought it up too. What if they're worried about losing Danny Mac or Ted Gavaya? Would that be one of the reasons they're trying to? How can we keep you guys in the fold? Because everybody's trying to grow, everybody's trying to move up and be something.
Great point.
That might be the other side of the apple there. But listen, I just think that they should sign him. And I'll say this: I think Kyle Walters has done as much as any GM has done in the Bomber history. So to me, you got to bring him back. I also want to say this: a great point by Jeffrey Townend, who's in there. I do think Ottawa is going to look, even though they got Dustin Crum, I think Ottawa is going to be full steam ahead on Drew Brown. Great comment, though.
I absolutely agree. I think Ottawa would be in the mix. I don't know. I wonder about Edmonton. I understand Trey Ford. I understand, but I wonder if they're a team that might be interested in him. Trevor Harris, Saskatchewan, new head coach. If it's Scott Milanovic, which would be a monster get for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Quarterback guru, right? I mean,
Trevor Harris. Milanovic had Trevor Harris in Toronto. He's familiar with him. Had him in Edmonton as well, I think, for a very brief period of time. I think that was the pandemic year, actually 2020. But building a playbook for a guy, and they just weren't able to actually step on the field. All that aside, lot to get to on the program today. And everybody watching live on YouTube and Facebook, thanks for joining us. If you're watching somewhere else or listening on the podcast, head over to youtube.com/bonfiresports. It's easy to find us everywhere. BonfireSports.ca. Just search Bonfire Sports Winnipeg. You'll find us pretty much everywhere. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And make sure you got your notifications set up too, so you'll know when we're live. I will be at the 110th Grey Cup in Hamilton in a few weeks. Oh, I'm going. I know you are. I booked a 5 a.m. flight so I could work a Jets game in Winnipeg and then head out and not miss practice. Fingers crossed on flight delays and the rest. But we will have coverage of the 110th Grey Cup, Bombers in or not. But fingers crossed, and I'm presuming that they will be. It's going to be Calgary, who Winnipeg plays in the regular season finale on Friday. They will go to BC next week. So BC has a bye right now, not a playoff bye, a regular season bye. Yeah. And then they host the Calgary Stampeders like they did last season. Who's calling? Danny Mac.
You know what is funny, though, as we're talking about this, and I just want to kind of touch up, and we'll leave it here, but you're talking Sard, and that's a great comment by Sard, too, about Danny Mac liking the ability to live in Florida, living in the States. As a GM, he'd have to be up here a lot more. And then Craig Smith, I agree with you 100%. And then I know Craig put out a thing, and he's a great follower for us and a great guy, that he was talking about Benavides.
Right.
The fact he's D coordinator. He's another guy for Saskatchewan. Buck Pierce. Here's another name was thrown out there, Buck Pierce. Has drawn a lot of attention.
I'm skeptical of that one. I don't think he wants to leave Winnipeg.
Well, that's the other thing too. Do you want to go from something good? Somebody's going crazy, man. I'm popular.
What did you
today.
say? Did you say something? Everyone's calling you.
I don't know who this lady is. It sounds like that lady from Ottawa. I remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's keep going. Maybe it's a hotline. It's a hotline, baby. That's what happens when you're on.
Yeah, well, hey, the Bonfire hotline is a number you can call or text, 204-816-TIPS. 816-TIPS, easy, 816-8477, standard message rates apply, just like when you're texting your mama.
Look at Capper 27, and that's funny because Rod Peterson put it on his podcast that he thought Smiling Henry Burris is the guy that's really vying for that job in Saskatchewan. So
yeah.
Interesting, right? I mean, there's a lot of guys going to go up in there, and they're going to wash house there. I think the GM was very lucky that he didn't get canned. But having said that, he's there. They got confidence in him. But that whole coaching staff will basically be done.
It is a house of cards in a lot of ways, or a game of dominoes in the Canadian Football League. When one falls, it affects everybody else. So with Drew Brown and Kyle Walters. Yeah, with Drew Brown and Kyle Walters both without contracts for 2024, and this being the final game of the regular season. That's why we're talking about it here on Game Day Winnipeg, your pregame show ahead of Bombers and Stampeders. Available on demand. Tell your friends. Find us on your podcast app as well. Hit that thumbs up. There's only been like 11 of you so far. I know it's early, and people will join us eventually from Winnipeg Sports Talk as well. But let's talk about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Granny Bomber fan, who's always hitting up the comments. How are you, Granny? Good to see you. Can you tell us how the voting went for MOP in Winnipeg? We'll go through all of those awards, as well as Winnipeg's depth chart, because, Chris, huge changes for Winnipeg in Calgary. It goes beyond Drew Brown. A whole bunch of guys will not be dressed, and a whole bunch more will be backups. So you see the defensive line. There is no Willie Jefferson, right? There is no Jackson Jeffcoat. Yeah, no Brandon Alexander. He is banged up. Missed practice entirely this week with a knee injury. No Kyrie Wilson. No Winston Rose. No Adam Bighill or Ricky Walker or Reda Cramdy. So how does the Blue Bombers defense look to go up against Jake Mayer and the Stampeders? By the way, the Stamps have nothing to play for either.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes,
what do they do? What do they got? What do they got
They're
to play
playing.
For?
You know what they're playing for? They're playing for momentum. Big Mo.
Oh, fair.
That is what they want. They've just had a great game against BC, where they destroyed BC in BC place, and I think they want to build on that to go into BC again. You can't have a letdown. They can't come into at home in a home game and basically crap the bed. Mm-hmm. That's not going to help their confidence going to BC. So to me, I think Calgary's playing hard, and they're going to do whatever they can to win. Now, Beglinton's not playing. He's their leading receiver. Kadeem Carey's not in there. Cam Judge, who's their outstanding Canadian linebacker, he's not playing.
Don't get ahead of ourselves here. Don't get ahead of ourselves.
Why?
Well, because we're talking.
I'm jacked about this, but I'll tell you right now, don't tell me Calgary's not playing, because Calgary wants it.
They do. They're going to ensure that their health is good for next week in the West Division semifinal in Vancouver against the BC Lions. But Winnipeg, like the strategy that Winnipeg is employing here is health over rust. Right? They are going to rest guys. So you got Teadric Hansen, Celestin Habas starting at defensive end, Cam Lawson and Miles Fox. Lawson, the Canadians, played a ton of games. Jake Thomas will back him up. You see that 62 next to Jake Thomas? That just means he would wear 62. Like you wore a penny back in your days with the Blue Bombers, Chris. You scored that touchdown back in, what was it, 1981?
That was Montreal, though. Thank you, brother. Number 80, yes.
With the Bombers, when you scored that touchdown with the Bombers.
That's right, against Montreal. You're right.
Yeah,
number 80.
Jake Thomas has the penny wearing 62 if he steps in on the offensive line. Miles Fox comes off the practice roster. Jacob Kelly is a 2023 Canadian draft pick, has dressed and played in a lot of games this year. Big special teams contributor. He will start at the dime back spot. Suleiman Karamoko, the global, who's been here in Winnipeg for a couple years, will back him up. Malik Clements starts at middle linebacker. Shane Gauthier behind him. Brian Cole at weak side linebacker. Jesse Briggs and Tanner Cadwallader behind him. Demario Houston comes off the injured list. Will start at his usual boundary corner spot. Kerfala Exume will back him up. Dietrich Nichols remains in, as too does the halfback on the other side, Evan Holm. These are the two, I would say, of the best or the best halfbacks in the CFL today. Jamal Parker remains at field corner, and Nick Hallett has always stepped in for Brandon Alexander and played quite well. He will start at free safety.
Yep.
Before we get into the offense, Chris, your thoughts on Winnipeg taking this cautious approach, taking this rest approach, with next week being a bye week before that West final on November 11th.
I don't think you need to see Jackson Jeffcoat and Willie Jefferson. And Willie, congratulations on being the nominee for most outstanding defensive player.
Yeah.
But listen, Jackson Jeffcoat,
all of those, I promise.
Yeah, but I'm just, hey, don't stop my train of thought, brother.
Sorry, trains are rolling. Sorry.
I'm going to tell you right now, man. Angela Mosca is going to come to that screen and give you such a goddamn head slap.
Oh, going to be like Joe Cap with the cane.
But here, see, now DeMario Houston has to play. I mean, they need him to get back, and he hasn't played for a while, so he has to be in the lineup right now to get his legs under him again, get some game action. But I think they're doing a great job. I think it's smart. Listen, Theodric Hansen's a heck of a football player, and he's starting at the native of Germany. Miles Fox finally gets his opportunity at tackle. I mean, these are going to be, I think, the one that is curious when you mentioned Jake Kelly. He's got 2 tackles on a year, 6 special teams, basically a special team guy.
Yep.
But this is where these guys can make a name for themselves and get brought back to camp next year.
Right.
So that's what it has to be. And this is a blessing when you have a plethora of talent, on offense and defense. But the defense obviously has got 5 changes. Lots of changes on the defense. And then you got the guy that you like, and you'll talk about him when we go to the offense. But yeah, I think the defense is going to be in for a tough test. You still got, Calgary still got Markin Mitchell, Odoms Dukes, Luko Hakanavanahu,
Luther Hakanavanu. Yeah. Yes, I always got your back on that one.
Hakanavanahu. I love that name, brother. I tell you.
And then, hey, welcome everybody who's joining us on the raid from Winnipeg Sports Talk. Many
happy birthday. Thanks, brother.
Yes, many wishing you happy birthday, Chris. Happy belated birthday. I can't believe you're 55 years old again. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. It was
a great time.
You look fantastic. As far as Winnipeg's offense, of course, the story really is led by Drew Brown starting at quarterback. And here we are taking a look at the Blue Bombers' offensive depth chart. Chris Kolinkowski, who, by the way, was my vote for most outstanding offensive lineman.
Yep.
He was. We'll start at center, as always. Jeff Gray, Pat Neufeld, and Jamarcus Hardrick. Those 4 on the right side remain the same. Okay. Yeah. Drew Richmond, who has been with the Blue Bombers for 3 years. 3 years. He will start at left tackle. I've said it for, well, frankly, a year now. He is the heir apparent for either Stanley Bryant or Jamarcus Hardrick at tackle. Brady Oliveira, who sits just a couple yards short of 1,500 rushing yards for the season, will start at running back. I think he's going to get a little dose, Chris, before we see much more of Johnny Augustine. There's Drew Brown as always, or as expected. Zach Collaros will dress as the 3rd stringer behind Brown and Dakota Prukop. Here is Ravi Alston coming off the practice roster. He'll start at slot back in place of Nick Dembski, Brendan O'Leary-Orange, Greg McRae, some of those usual suspects in the receiving corps. Drew Wolodarski moves over to slot back. I kind of like putting him there and allowing Bolo, Brendan O'Leary-Orange, to start at the spot that I think they really like him at with his size. Kenny Lawler, Rasheed Bailey. We'll see how much we see of them in this game. Castillo, Benson, and Grant returning kicks, no changes there. But offensively, outside of Stanley Bryant and, Nick Dembski, really not too many changes. Of course, Drew Brown at quarterback as well.
Yeah, and I don't think you'll see Zach much at all, if at all. You don't even need to play him a series at all. Just go out there. He'll be another set of eyes on the field. Another quarterback coach for this game. You probably see a little Dakota Prukop in there as well, getting some opportunities. And you mentioned Brady Oliveira. I would say Brady
little Dakota Prukop. What do you mean little? Oh, you mean a little?
A little.
That guy's
not that he's little. He's 6'5" or whatever he is. Mind you, look at Tommy Stevens over in Calgary. 6'5", 245 pounds.
He's a big boy.
As a quarterback is big. But no, I think when I talk about Brady Oliveira, hey, listen, also, Congratulations, not only MOP, but most outstanding Canadian. How about that? How about the fact that he's also the team nominee for the Jake Goddard veteran nominee for what he does around the city outside of football? Not only does he carry himself well in football, but outside. Great pick. That's one of the nicest awards you get nominated for. Agreed. So congratulations to Brady O on that as well. Yep. But I don't think Brady will play much at all. I wouldn't want to risk him. Yep. I know that Coach O'Shea says, listen, we can still get yards with Johnny, but no, not the way this guy's played. Brady's at a different level this year. So you just got to do it, man.
Great comment from Sard. I think Oliveira will play until he hits 2,000 yards total, and then he'll take a seat. That would be 1,000 combined. That would be 2,000 combined. So he's right around 1,500 rushing, and he's at 460 or something receiving. So, if he picks up, a few dozen yards, he'll hit 2,000 for the year, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think that, he's done everything that we expected. I still remember the days that he was behind number 33, the legend, Andrew Harris, and everybody's like, well, he's not really running like Andrew. And he just took it. He took the reins and ran like a wild stallion, like a horse that just got out of the stable. The man broke it. You can't saddle that man. You can't put a saddle on that guy. He's rabid. He's going, baby. Let him go.
Yeah. How hard Winnipeg works some of these guys will be interesting. I really think they just want to ensure that, nothing catastrophic happens in Calgary. There's nothing to be won, nothing to be lost, and they do have a bye next week. Is there danger, though, Chris, in a lot of those guys sitting and a lot of even the guys that are dressing as backups, per se, playing a lot, playing less? Is there a danger in that, rust might become part of it? We talk about it every year.
No, come on. They've played how many games? 4 exhibition or whatever, or 2 exhibition. We're almost at the last game of the season.
This is their 20th game, including those.
20th game. Come on, man. Yeah. I think they all look forward to getting the day off. They'll all be here. They'll probably get together at somebody's place, maybe at, maybe over at, number 66 house. And go watch him, because that's the thing. I mean, when you're looking at Stanley Bryant, you got all these guys, and I was surprised that Stanley got a bye, but he's the elder gentleman on that O-line. Still had a stud of a year. He's still a stud. Listen, I'll be honest with you.
I say, if you're like Stanley Bryant and you're an Iron Man and you miss like no games for the first 10 years of your career or something, and then you take a game off here and there the last couple of years, give the guy. Literally give him a break. I think nothing wrong with that.
That's the thing I think with. I agree with you 100%. So, the roundabout answer to you is no. I don't think it hurts this team at all. I think it helps this team. It's not in the middle of the year. It's not the beginning of the year. This is at the end of the year. These guys deserve. Everybody's beat up. There's not a healthy team in the league. Everybody's got a little nick, a little banged up somewhere. So you know what? You just got to live with it. So this is a great opportunity for them to rest some key guys. Willie Jefferson and Jackson Jeffcoat, Adam Bighill, who I still thought, when I saw that hit last week again on Trey Ford when he tried to go short yardage, one of the best smacks I've seen. So, which is my pops is older than you. He played 80 in the hockey show. Yes, sir.
Does that name ring a bell?
Yeah, name ring a bell. Yes, sir.
Larry Balanchuk. Great to see everybody joining us live here on Game Day Winnipeg. Your pregame show. Don't miss the postgame. Game Day After Dark, live just a few minutes after Bombers, Stampeders, and of course, pregame and postgame every game through the playoffs and at the 110th Grey Cup. Bonfire Sports will be in Hamilton all week long for the game. It's going to be so much fun. Be sure to join us. Subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Facebook. And you can find us on your podcast app as well. So if you don't have time to watch, you can just throw the pod on, while you're cooking dinner or driving to the school to pick up your kids.
When are you heading to the Grey Cup? It usually starts on a Wednesday, the festivities. The players come in Tuesday.
Yeah. I was going to go on the Monday because Tuesday morning is the coaches conference and Commissioner Randy Ambrosi will give his State of the League address to the media. The fan State of the League, I think, is on Thursday or Friday. But because the Jets play on Tuesday at home, I think they're against Detroit. I'm going to stay in Winnipeg and then go out first thing Wednesday morning, cover the Jets remotely from there. I'll write for NHL.com for those games as well. Was it Friday, Saturday? And then, of course, the game in Winnipeg, in Hamilton, the 110th Grey Cup on Sunday. But we're going to have tons of stuff. I'm going to bring on a whole bunch of guests. I got friends and colleagues and contacts across the Canadian Football League.
Hey,
they'll all be in Hamilton. I might even have you on, Chris. What do you think?
Are you going to have a
pregame show?
Are you going to the award show?
Oh yeah, it's in Niagara Falls. Wouldn't miss it.
Well, guess who's? Hey, are you going to go here? Shaggy going to be up there.
Yeah, Shaggy. Wasn't me.
Why don't you get him on your thing?
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me. That's what they said.
That's what they said.
I mean, he's good. It'd be good for them guys. I tell you what. But
yeah.
Oh, look at it. Look at this. It's your boy Bruce. Shout out to Snitsy.
Yep.
That's your boy Bruce. That's your boy. Okay. It's one of those weird things. Like you read license plates and they have a meaning. So it's interesting. But sorry, now you digress. But I tell you what, I thought it was very nice of you, DB, and the show Bonfire Sports to say, Walby, would you like to come to the Grey Cup? And I went, I'm thinking about it. And you went, okay, we rented you a 10-speed. You better leave a week early.
Well, hey, Brendan watching live on YouTube says, Walby looks fit. Great stuff, guys. Yeah, Walby, you are in great shape.
Not bad.
I haven't seen you in a few weeks. I think it's been a few weeks since I went and saw my favorite Walby. That would be your lovely bride, of course. But you're in better shape than me. You've always been in better shape than me.
No, don't only go there. Enough with that, man. Holy crap! I have to get some Kleenex, wipe it off.
It's
hey, listen.
So what?
Don't go there, man. Anyway, I just think it's great. Listen, I'm excited for this game. We talked about Winnipeg. We talked about what they've got to play for, which I think is basically just for jobs next year and to try and get some, keep the momentum they got going. They're just got such a talented team. I'm looking forward to seeing this Ravi Alston. I love the story on him, the 6'3" guy out of Montana State. It'll be interesting to see what he does.
Well, we got to remember the Blue Bombers moved on from Carlton Agadosi and kept Ravi Alston. At receiver. So we're going to see what Winnipeg sees as a, I don't know, they I guess you could assume they like him better because he's still there.
Well, Toronto's playing Ottawa final game. And I know Chad Kelly, the quarterback, he's not playing at all. They'll go with the backup guy. But the other thing is I bet you'll see Carlton Agadosi in the lineup. He's a big target, 6'6". I always said that. I said to you, and I told you this, he'd be picked up right away. And he was. I think two smart things. Pinball Clemens bringing him over there, the GM. Also, he knows our offense. And in a small league, you can give tips. This is what we like to run. This is what, if you hear something. So, but anyway, that's just, hey, and there's a good question. BC pass rusher set a Canadian record, and he was not a unanimous choice in BC for defensive player.
Yes, that's right.
What the people? Shake your head.
Matthew Betts, past fellow BC Lion, Hall of Famer, now retired, of course, Brent Johnson.
Brent Johnson,
And, Matthew Betts, great season. I'm guessing most outstanding Canadian, a vote or two could have gone to Ben Hladek, who hit 100 tackles at middle linebacker, and maybe Sean White, their kicker, who is, the best kicker in the CFL.
Wow. I think Sean White, if Sean White will be going against my pick, against the kick returner from Toronto, the guy's got 4 touchdowns. That's a tough choice. And I think the guy in Toronto is probably going to come out of it. I don't know. So can Olivia beat Betts? Yeah, I think so. I think Brady will beat Betts because Brady's done more. No offense taken away from Matthew Betts for the sacks and the tackles, and I know he's got a block punt or something too. Mm-hmm. But having said, it's the work that Brady has put together, I just think it's hard to overlook. Yeah. MOP might be tough. It might be tough for MOP because it looks like they're really punching the heck out of Vernon Adams Jr. in BC.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. I want to clarify some things for people. Matthew Betts did
Clarify it,
get
man.
the nomination. He simply didn't receive a unanimous vote. 4 media voters and the head coach in each of the markets. And this first round of voting, so like Winnipeg's team nominees, BC's team nominees, whoever, it's just that local market that votes. So 4 media voters in BC and the head coach. Amongst those, Betts was not unanimous. It's not a big like, oh my God, he didn't get he got the nod. He will be up for most outstanding Canadian.
Oh, he got the nod. I just kind of thought it was interesting that a guy who sets a record for Canadians as far as sacks, that should take precedence. And again, and I'm kind of going against my own thought process of stats being the indicator. And so I might have to as soon as I get off the air, I'll punch myself right in the face because I don't like that. So stupid, Walby.
So Winnipeg's most outstanding players, and I'm just trying to pull up the most outstanding nominees for each team. We'll go through Winnipeg, and then we'll go through who we think, Chris, will probably come away with East and West Division, and then ultimately the most outstanding player awards league-wide. So for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, most outstanding player, this is probably the most contentious one. Brady Oliveira, and not 2-time reigning most outstanding player, Zach Collaros. Before we talk about it, I want to pull up a video clip, if I can get my mouse on the right screen. Here's a video clip of head coach Mike O'Shea when asked about Zach Collaros not being the Winnipeg Blue Bombers most outstanding player nominee.
And we didn't get a chance to talk to Zach Collaros today, but he obviously is the 2-time reigning MOP, won't be the MOP this year. As Brady gets the nomination here, can you give a thought on what he might think about that and what you...
I don't know what he thinks about it, but he's the best in the league.
Yeah.
Easily. So there's no other guy you want, under center, because he's just such a fiery competitor, and he makes everybody around him better.
Now, to be clear, Mike O'Shea was not speaking to Zach Collaros versus Brady Oliveira. He was simply speaking to Zach Collaros not having the opportunity to go up against Chad Kelly, who is likely going to come out of the East as most outstanding player. Yeah. Here's the thing for me. Brady Oliveira, outstanding. Zach Collaros, most valuable. But this is the most outstanding player award, and he needs 20 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
20 yards to hit 2,000 combined through the air and on the ground this season. Number 2 all-time amongst Canadian. Like, think about that. He rushed for more yards than Andrew Harris ever did in one season. That's really something. So I understand that a lot of people will give the inkling to the quarterback over all others because it's the hardest position to play on the field. Mike O'Shea there simply speaking to Zach Collaros, not up against his teammate. Brady Oliveira was not a unanimous selection. Mike O'Shea does have a ballot. Of course, he would never reveal his ballot. But, I mean,
he'd vote for you, DB.
Oh,
he'd
yeah,
vote for you.
Of course, yeah. Most outstanding absent media member.
It's Darrin Bauming. When Darrin Bauming comes to the game, I just get excited.
Yeah. Issue Boy Bruce with a hot take alert. Writers didn't want Zach to lose to Chad Kelly, so they nominated Brady. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. No. I voted for Brady Oliveira because he is the most outstanding player on the Blue Bombers. Okay. Now he will have to go against Vernon Adams Jr. in the West. Chad Kelly is very likely to come out of the East. I think those 3 guys are really the only MO candidates that could take a swing at it.
Can I ask you a question, DB?
Of course.
And I don't know if you have the intel, so I'm just going to put it to you plainly. Mm-hmm. Do you guys get the results? Do you guys get to see the results? Not that you have to put them out there, but do you guys get the results saying of the 5 votes for every position in Winnipeg, you get a breakdown of what it went, how it turned out?
We do not get a breakdown of who voted for who. But I'm amongst 4 media voters in Winnipeg. And I don't think I'm telling tales out of school as far as naming who those voters are, but myself, Derek Taylor, Ted Wyman, and Taylor Allen of the Winnipeg Free Press are the 4 media voters here in Winnipeg, and then Mike O'Shea as well. What we do get, Chris, is if a player was a unanimous decision for that award.
Okay.
Brady Oliveira was not unanimous for MOP. He was unanimous for Most Outstanding Canadian. Now, Dembski is right there, but Brady Oliveira got everybody's vote for Most Outstanding Canadian.
Which was a nice. I love two of the things, and this tells me how good this team is. The fellowship these guys have. First off, Jamarcus Hardwick saying it's so nice to be nominated for the Stanley Award,
the Stanley Bryan Award. Yeah, I like that.
Stanley Bryan Award, and then of course you have Brady going, man, look at what Dembski did too. I mean, and you're right. I mean, they have such a huge amount of talent, but such respect for each other. I just thought that was really classy by both those individuals.
Most outstanding defensive player for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is once again Willie Jefferson. It really has been Jefferson, Big Hill, Jefferson, Big Hill, Jefferson over the last number of years. I've also voted for Willie Jefferson. I gave my number 2 vote, which are used to break ties, to Dietrich Nichols, and still very comfortable with those selections that I made. Jefferson is like amongst the league leaders in pass knockdowns. The Blue Bombers are league leaders as a team in pass knockdowns by how many?
15.
15. And 13 of those were Willie Jefferson.
He led the league. He led the league with 13 pass knockdowns. Okay. So yeah. So just let you know, I've got those stats, man. I'm all over it, man. Because when I go on a TV show with you now or a podcast, I better be ready. I don't want to get slapped silly by you, man.
Yeah. So after
we do the show,
hey,
after we do the show, Darrin always phones me and goes, "You are an idiot. You brought up this. You brought up that."
That's what
I go basically into the basement. And I huddle there for about 2 days, get my self-confidence back, and I come back out.
Yeah,
like a new man.
You in a box of tissues, hey, just to dry those tears. Most outstanding defensive players across the league: Matthew Betts in BC, Jake Serezna in Edmonton. I think those are both great choices. Micah Awe in Calgary. I don't think he'll come out of the West. Larry Dean, middle linebacker for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Simone Lawrence for Hamilton. I don't think it's his year. Darius Pickett in Toronto. Bryce Carter in Ottawa, and Tyrese Beverette. Pickett and Beverette, monster players defensively. I think one of those guys is going to come out of the East.
You don't think it's going to be a tight race between? I think it's going to be a real tight race between Micah Awe and Willie Jefferson. I just think because he's so close. Well, he's about, I think, 3 tackles away from setting the record for most tackles. That's a huge stat, man. He's got 118 tackles right now.
Calgary's defense was also on the field a lot.
Yeah, but that's like you could say that a team that have that's on and have 52 sacks, and they could go, well, guess why? You played 42 minutes on every game on the field. So yeah, DB is a bully.
And it's your boy Bruce. He's got 63s back. Consummate professional.
You make me laugh, brother.
Most outstanding offensive lineman, as we mentioned, Jamarcus Hardwick coming out of Winnipeg, Logan Furland in Saskatchewan, Sean McEwen always in the running.
That'll be the race. In
Calgary. You think you got Jarrell Broxton and Martez Ivey in BC and Edmonton respectively. You think it'll be Hardwick or McEwen in the West?
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Hardwick or McEwen. I mean, we got the leading rusher, which is a huge push, and the quarterback's throw for the most touchdowns. They've got the offensive line has given up, I think, the second least amount of sacks. They're going to really pump him. He's been a nominee in Toronto before. He's never won. I don't know. I think it's really, if I'm looking at it right now, I think it's Jamarcus to lose. I just think that he's had a good year, and he's one of those emotional leaders. He's downfield all the time. He's a spark on that old line. So, yeah, I'd like to see old Hardwick get it, man.
See, Dan Jets fan commenting, Chris, the little violins for Bluto.
That's fine. I don't care what you think about me.
Well, you know me. I'm just a bully, just pointing out the things that I can
That's
bully when
right,
I can.
man.
Offensive line, one of the most difficult positions, not only to play,
Yes.
Chris, of course, but for us voters to do that. Brandon Revenberg, Pierre Olivier Lestage, Jacob Ruby, Dayon Allen. Coming out of the East, you know, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. However, when it comes to most outstanding special teams player in the CFL, Sergio Castillo was a unanimous decision here in Winnipeg. Look, Janarian Grant missed more than half the season. If that wasn't the case, maybe things would have been a lot different. Sean White, unanimous in BC. I think Sean White will be the West Division nominee, and I would be blown away if Toronto Argonauts returner Javon Leake wasn't just the East Division nominee, but isn't up on stage at the 2023 CFL Awards, taking home that honor. He's just
I agree. Like I said, I wish I could see the voting to wonder how much the coach's influence comes on the tiebreaker, but that's okay because every pick to me that they did was somewhat. I agree with them all. I'll be honest with you. There's not many I looked at it and said, "Hey, you know what? How can you do this?" It's a tough thing, and I think you brought it up too. They said defensive player. Why is there not a defensive line? The offensive line, defensive line. So I kind of go with you on that, DB. I think they should have a defensive lineman of the year award too, a guy that can get some recognition. Because when you're putting them in there, I mean he's got to go against a guy in the linebackers or a guy that has 52 interceptions. It's tough. It's a tough thing.
So most outstanding defensive player, or pardon me, most outstanding rookie, Jamison Sheehan, the Australian punter for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, is Winnipeg's nominee. It was not a unanimous decision. I imagine Damian Jackson got a vote or two as well, maybe more. But the reality is the most outstanding rookie in the CFL is very likely going to come out of the East. Montreal Alouettes defender Reggie Stubblefield, Ottawa quarterback Dustin Crum, and Toronto Argonauts defensive back Quantez Stiggers, who never played college football and is playing at a level that's going to give him an NFL contract. Taylor Powell with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, their quarterback as well, amongst those East Division nominees. That's an East Division win for most outstanding rookie this year. Little doubt in my mind. Who's calling?
Yeah, I think every pick, like I said, they're good, man. I like, and I try to say when you look at what they're doing and when I look at, going back to the game a little bit, Bedrington was the most outstanding player. He got judged the most outstanding Canadian. Michael Awe, which I don't know how much he's going to play because they're starting Silas Stewart. It's a game of basically backups and giving opportunity to young guys who normally would not get this opportunity. So it's make or break for a lot of these guys because this is their opportunity to shine when the lights really do come on and not practice. So I'm looking forward to it, brother.
Let's take a quick look at the Calgary Stampeders depth chart for Friday night against Winnipeg. Jake Mayer will, oh my goodness, how come it's so small? We'll fix this.
There you go.
Oh, see, look, I got Mike O'Shea in the corner here. There we go. Now we got it going. Jake Mayer will start at quarterback, and Dedrick Mills will start at running back. Peyton Logan will back him up. No Kadeem Carey. So for those that want to play a little fantasy football this weekend, former Blue Bomber DB Brad Muhammad has a hand injury. He's out. Calgary's most outstanding player nominee Reggie Begelton is out, as is Cameron Judge and Brandon Dozier. But Mark and Michelle, Trey Odoms Dukes, you mentioned those guys, Chris. They are going to remain in. Your favorite, of course, Luther Hakunavanu will start at receiver. And then Zach Williams, Sean McEwen, Ryan Sevier, all of those main dudes on the interior of the offensive line, including the pride of Transcona, Zach Williams at left guard. On the defensive side, Mike Rose, who is one of the most talented, dangerous, and a guy you just have to account for on every single play. He will play at defensive tackle. Derek Wigan next to him, Julian Hauser, Mike Moore on the defensive ends. Micah Alway will back up. He is a designated American there. So they're going to use some new bodies in their linebacking core and at the dime back spot as well. Moxie, Kobe Williams, Nick Taylor, our old pal, Grey Cup champion here with the Blue Bombers, starting at halfback. Trey Roberson at corner. Nick Stats gets the start at safety, the Canadian. So, Chris, Calgary is resting guys just like Winnipeg is.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, Calgary wants to build momentum. That's the only thing. The Bombers can come out of here, and I remember a couple of years ago before they went to the Cup, they lost in a snowy day in Calgary, and Winnipeg still turned out okay. I just think that Calgary, to me, has much more to prove. I think Jake Mayer had probably his best game of the year last week against BC, and I watched his interview after the game, and he said that's one step. I would listen to Dave Dickinson. Sorry, Craig, more here. Dave Dickinson, who is head coach of Calgary, who said, you know what, we're not there yet, but it was a great stepping stone to where we want to be. So they do not want to take a step backwards. They want to build at home against the Bombers, build momentum before they go back and play BC in BC plays. Because I guarantee they're not going to whip BC 2 times in a row. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. And of course, last year in that West Division semifinal game, Calgary in Vancouver to face the Lions, they moved on from Jake Mayer, and we saw a spell of Bo Levi Mitchell against an injured but playing Nathan Rourke with the BC Lions. How about this, Chris? And I know a fan out there was DMing us this week about the CFL standings in 2023. 2 years in a row, exact same first, second, third, fourth place, and fifth place in the West and East Division. Winnipeg and Toronto, third straight year that they have won division titles. And that's the first time that's happened since 1992 through 1994 with Chris, your Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the East Division and Calgary in 53 through 56. Pardon me. Winnipeg in the East, Calgary in the West in 92 through 94, and then Montreal and Edmonton in 53 through 56, winning their divisions respectively. Tell me about that era of football, 92, 93, 94, if you so recall, and maybe don't mention the terribly ugly blue helmets you guys had to wear.
Oh, and the pants too. Oh yeah, the pants were no good. But I mean, yeah, it was good. Watching Dave Black trying to squeeze into 32s so I could put a 10-pound turkey in a 5-pound bag just didn't work, man. You know what I'm talking about. But other than that, it was good. I mean, we had good teams. I mean, 94 was good, 93. And 93, we probably had one of the best teams we ever had. Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, that's the thing. You think you're going to win. You get there, and, 93, we end up going to play in Calgary against Edmonton. And we had kicked the butt off those guys, basically all year. Poor Matt Dunnigan blows his Achilles, and next thing you know, we come out and lose again to Damon Allen. And it just shows you, man. Anything can happen on any given Sunday. And the Grey Cup will be a Sunday where the playoffs will. I'm actually glad they changed the playoffs to Saturday, though. That's a great thing.
Yeah. Oh, hey, how about this? Chris, your first super chat. Sasha. Can I do that here? Here we go. Sasha gives you a super chat of $20 and says, Bluto, birthday beverage. Cheers. Thanks so much, Sasha. Chris, that check is in the mail. I'm sending that to you immediately. Thank you, Sasha, for another super chat. You've been a great supporter. Yeah.
That's a hug from me, brother. We see each other, we'll hug.
Oh,
I love Sasha. I can tell right now. She's moved right up there. It used to be DB, but then DB, like I said, just gave me the bike to cycle to the Grey Cup. So
don't presume Sasha's a she. It could be a he. Sasha Baron Cohen, one of my favorite comedic actors.
Oh, could be. Okay, well, whoever it is, Sasha, God bless you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
A win this week would give Winnipeg a total of 29 over the past 2 seasons. That's a tie if they win. A tie for the fourth most in league history. Dave Dickinson going for win number 80 in his coaching career. And Brady Oliveira, as I mentioned, just looking at some notes here, 20 yards shy of 2,000 combined on the year. John Cornish, running back for the Calgary Stampeders, achieved both 1,500 rushing and 2,000 combined in 2013. That's when he was most outstanding Canadian and most outstanding player in the CFL, which Brady Oliveira has the opportunity to do. Do you think VA is going to get the nod in the West? I don't. I really don't think he will.
Wow. Well, he really kind of crapped the bed last game when he had 3 interceptions in the first half and got replaced by Dana Evans in that last game they played against the Calgary Stampeders.
That's right.
So I don't know. I mean, that probably hurt his pedigree somewhat, or his voting prowess. So yeah, I mean, you know what, you could see Brady coming out of there too. I mean, can we have a double winner, much like we had with in the Grey Cup game when Andrew Harris won Canadian and most outstanding player of the Grey Cup? So that could happen
in the game. Yeah, yeah, it absolutely could happen. So Brandon Alexander, I think, is pretty banged up right now. It's a knee issue.
Well, not again.
Yeah.
So that's what caused him all the problems last time too, right?
That's right. He had that major surgery after getting injured in the Grey Cup. Yeah.
It could be a definite blow to the Bombers defense for sure.
Yeah. I don't think, all due respect to Brandon Alexander, because I love the guy. I love watching him play. I love talking to him. Great, great dude. Since he was a rookie on this team, has been a consummate professional and just a beauty of a guy. But since that knee injury suffered in the 2021 Grey Cup win, he has not been the same player. He has not been that same imposing physical presence. Would you agree?
I agree with you on that. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
He used to just be put the fear of God in receivers.
Yeah, he came downhill a lot and laid the lick on a lot of players. It seems like now he's more coming up after the play just to try to wrap up rather than dictate. And like I say, be the hammer, not the nail. Yeah. And he was the hammer. I'm not saying he's a nail right now, but he's a different kind of hammer. He was a sledgehammer before. Now he's just a carpenter hammer. Ah!
But you know what? You could call him a carpenter hammer because he is still very precise. Good tackler. He's just not absolutely crushing dudes like he used to. And, that's something I think to look at or keep an eye on going into the West Final and practice next week for the Blue Bombers. They'll take their bye, but then that week going into November 11th. And then Granny Bomber fan with another great quote. Granny, you're the commenter of the day here on GameDay Winnipeg. Schoen is missed. Dalton Schoen is listed as an ankle injury, hurt in BC a couple weeks ago, and remains out of the lineup. They need Dalton Schoen for the West Final. He is just so good at converting on second down, moving the chains, and then of course Zach Collaros can throw up a beautiful golden arch, not the burger joint, but off the arm, and just make it happen.
He's got great hands and he runs great routes. That's the thing about him. He reads defenses. He knows where to get open in the zone coverage. He knows how to beat man coverage. He's got 32 or 33 second down conversions, almost the top in the league. 10 touchdowns, which is the top of the league. And he's one of Zach's favorite targets. He looks for that guy, So, I mean, that is a huge – but I got to say, this break is great for him. And, the therapist in the Bomber, he's there every day. He's in the cold tub. He's in the hot tub. He's getting stim. He's getting ultrasound. They, I don't know if they have a pressure thing. They used to have, a lot of these teams used to have
the hyperbaric chamber.
Hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's getting first class treat right now. And if there's any chance he's going to be there, he'll be there. And you know what? They may have to. Listen, you know what it's like. You got to play. It's a one game. You shoot your ankle up. I hate to say it. I don't want to say that's a good thing.
Modern medicine, as Matt Dunnigan called it on the broadcast last week. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just shoot up anything.
No, you can't.
But a lot of things you can. So, we'll never know. And nor will the Blue Bombers tip their cap or tip their hand and let us know if it's like, he's 80% and we'll see if we won't know. He could be healthy. He could be shot up. That happens, frankly, in game and to probably dozens of guys, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? You work your whole season from training camp to go to this game, to one game, and to not be able to play is such a crusher. You don't understand the pain. You just don't feel like it's, even though you're part of the team, you just don't feel like you really are part of the team. You're basically outside the fabric where the guys are getting together. We're talking about how we're going to, what we're going to do. And they're like, hey, it's great to see you, man. Thanks for hanging around. Come on, you're in the meetings with us, but you're not playing. And that just crushes you. So, I mean, I've been there and I've done what I had to do to play. So I can't blame anybody. I can't say anybody because I did it. So
Yep. Cups of coffee too. I don't think they do that anymore.
oh, we drank a lot of coffee. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Coffee and oh God, I can't talk about
Caffeine pills.
Caffeine pills, and then
Those
was the other one.
You could take ephedrine, right?
I don't know if we took ephedrine down there because I'd probably run like a deer.
Ephedrine, of course, is like the nasal decongestant in a lot of
We took
over-the-counter
the
cold
one that you
medications.
break. Oh, ginseng. We took a ton of ginseng.
Really?
Oh, we took ginseng and we break a capsule. Oh yeah, and I tell you what, it's just the energy and the stuff, and man. And then of course I was my biggest hero was Lyle Alzado. So I would not eat before the game, and God bless the Viscount Gort. They used to come over and put fresh cut pineapple in my locker, and that's all I'd have is pineapple. Because Lyle Alzado said eat pineapple, and I ate pineapple, and man, I felt great after that. Woo!
I hear that. I hear pineapple's good for you.
I love pineapple, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Okay, let's get into your keys to the game, Chris. Critical for Winnipeg to accomplish in a game that in the standings doesn't mean anything for either team. But of course, there are mental implications when it comes to the Stamps, who begin their playoff journey next week in Vancouver. Winnipeg going into a bye next week before hosting the West Final, November 11th.
100% their DB. As usual, you're right on it. I think on offense, have fun. Protect yourself and protect the football. You know, you got to play hard. And you know what? You still want to go out on a winning note. So just do what you got to do. Get Brady some extra yards. Throw the ball. Have fun. Drew Brown, play for next year. Play for yourself. I don't care, but it's going to be good for you. Defense, there's a lot of changes on there. But I'm saying impeach the mayor. Who's that? Well, that's Jake Mayer. Impeach him, baby. Don't let him get any, momentum and stuff like that. Keep him going. Make him really worried about going next week. And then special teams, you got so many new players. I said this already. Be the hammer, be the nail. Don't let a big return happen like it did against Edmonton when we gave up a big touchdown on a kickoff return, which we should never have. So those are my keys there, DB. And it's weird to give keys on a game like this, but that's what I have.
Well, hey, you're going to drive the bus. You got to have keys to get it started, right?
But I do have this.
What do you got?
There was a house on Matheson Ave. They called the IG Field. The West Final will be played on the 11th. Oh, yup. And the Bombers, you betcha, will be going to the Cup. There you go, buddy.
Did you just write that?
Yeah, I wrote it now.
You wrote that right now?
Just bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
I was going to compliment your hoodie.
Yeah, it's nice, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
5XL, baby.
You look good in blue. You look good in blue.
I look good in anything.
Two notes that I want to touch on before we get things going. And you know what? Try to find a 1XL in that for your boy. Just remember how many T-shirts and hats I've brought you through the years, let alone microphones and technology.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you could probably get me a nice hoodie.
We'll see. We're working on something.
No. Why don't you just park it by the bike you're giving me?
The bike? What you want an electric bike?
Oh, I'd like to get it. Yeah, man.
Or you want like you want a Harley like the Coach?
No, I'd kill myself. I don't trust bikes. All my kids have bikes, and I swear to God, I don't think I could go on a bike because it's just, I'm too crazy. I'm crazy.
You are a little crazy. That's
but
sure.
I was looking forward to this day today because the snow came yesterday. Basically, it's at the end of the year now, and these are where the games. I just love it, man. So, man, I'm happy. I'm just happy, man. I'm a happy guy.
I can tell people loving your singing. Dan Jets fan says, "Awesome, Bluto." It's your boy Bruce. Well, sorry, I'll get to you in a second. Is there anything Walby can't do? Says T. Will. Great question. It's your boy Bruce. Bluto and that B-Day drip being. The swag is dripping off of you, of course.
Swag, man.
Yeah. Issue Boy Bruce asks, is Mike Miller back? No, he's not. And at this point, I
don't see him back.
What a huge surprise it would be if he is back for the postseason. But that would be pretty awesome for the future Hall of Famer, the league's all-time #1 special teams tackler. Two things I wanted to mention before we get to the show. So we got your singing out of the way. We got your hoodie compliment and a couple jabs back and forth. Some more birthday wishes as well. Brady Oliveira, MOP, MOC for the Blue Bombers this year. Nick Dembski hits 1,000 yards receiving for the first time in his career, like a fine scotch aged in an oak cask. Every year goes by, it's just better and better. How cool is it, Chris, as a guy that is a Hall of Famer and won championships for your hometown team, North Winnipeg boy you are, and making the mark you did as a member of the Blue Bombers from day one to the final in your CFL career. Well, yeah, okay, 1 year with Montreal, but you know what I mean. Same with Dembski, time with Saskatchewan, but here in Winnipeg, Brady Oliveira probably wants to be a Winnipeg Blue Bomber for life. What does it mean to you to see two guys have a 1,000-yard receiving year and a 1,500-yard rushing year, could be 2,000 combined for Oliveira, on the same team as Winnipeggers for their hometown club?
The dynamic duo. Well, first time ever, right? I mean, when you're talking about from the same high school, it's phenomenal. It's a great reflection of the talent and the work the high schools are doing in Manitoba. They are doing a great job of coaching up these kids, giving them opportunities. I know Brady went to UND, where my buddy Stan Mikwas went. He was just down there for a union in the bye week. I just think it's a fantastic accomplishment, and I've always said this. Great people on and off the field. You love to see good things happen to them, and both of those guys are absolute gentlemen and gems and should be looked at every time you see them. They love it. And when you go shopping, man, just, give them a hug, talk football. They love it. I remember we used to lose.
Ask first.
Oh, no, just go. They'll talk. They'll talk to you. They'll recognize you, right?
Oh, you can talk to them. Just ask before you get a hug.
Okay. That was just a metaphor for being friendly. I don't want you going out there getting, in trouble. What I'm just saying. I used to go to this shop and we'd lose a game and the ladies would ram their carts in the back of my ankles. They were very angry. So, I should never wear my jersey in the store.
Did that have anything to do with football? Yeah, exactly. Nothing. Had nothing to do with football. Something that has half to do with football and half to do with hockey, Chris. The Winnipeg Jets are coming off their lowest attended game in 2.0 history outside of the pandemic restricted crowds at Canada Life Center. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, meanwhile, Chris, they averaged 30,000 plus, nearly 30,500 averaged attendance for each game this year. 30,000.
Yeah.
What does it say about Winnipeg and a winning football team to do this?
This is a team that supported us. We were 9, and I mean, they just got great fans. I'll be honest with you, they love it. I think the IG Field is doing a great job. They make people have fun. Everybody's around the rum hut. It's just a great atmosphere. You know what? I think the only thing, if I ever had a complaint, the only thing would be about getting out of there. The parking's kind of nuts, but other than that, man, I got no complaints. And I think that Wade, he's done a great job as CEO and president of the club. And I think he's doing good. We just actually got tickets mailed to us. Then once again, thank you, Wade, because he's taking care of the alumni so we can get to go to the West Final, which is very nice.
That is something that often gets overlooked when mentioning Wade Miller's accomplishments. He's really reconnected with the alumni. You've let me know that, many others as well. So
one day I'll even get a Walby burger. One day.
I saw that picture of you with the Walby burger. You didn't eat that burger that time?
No, that was a young lad. Young lad bought it for his family. No, I've never had one, but I don't think I could eat one anywhere there because, I've got to talk and I got to see people, and nobody wants to talk to me with a mouthful of food. But I'd like to share one with you, DB.
Yes.
Next year, when we're golfing at your buddy's place.
Scotswood Links.
There we go. See how I segued that in there?
You're good. You're good. You're a pitch man. It's no Chicken Delight commercial, but
Oh, Chicken Delight. I'm not wearing that suit again, man. It still gives me nightmare. Every time I see a chicken, I get scared now. I think, are you related? All right. I got to go, man. Love talking to you. Love football. But I got to go, man, because the snow went out again, is it? I don't know. I got to get my shovels sharpened. All right. Take care, brother. Have a great game. Look at those fingers. Where are they? There they are. Oh, there they are. Look at those. Those are beautiful.
No jewelry today, though.
No jewelry. I can't get on. But I want to say this, DB, always a pleasure, brother. You want to hit me up for the recording? It's on 45. I'll have some record producer call it somebody.
Okay. Well, I got those birthday drinks from Sasha coming your way as well.
Hey, adios, my friends. Adios. I got to go. Hate to see you, but I got to go.
We'll see you on the post game as well. See, he just flies out the door. That's Chris Walby for you. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Post game show, and then, of course, more pregame coverage coming to you ahead of the West Final. And a huge opportunity for Winnipeg to make some noise in the 2023 CFL playoffs. We'll see you next time.